So I put this little red point here to where we are located. Our university is in Brazil. So we invite all of you to visit Brazil and visit our university. And I'm a little bit confused with the... Okay. So in our lab, we identify these roadmaps for extended reality and mixed reality, virtual reality, immersive technologies, because most of times the industrial decision makers don't know how to use them. So they know they exist, they read about it, they know they have to use in their process to make their better process, better industrial process, manufacturing, production, but they don't know how to use them. So they look at us and they say, let's develop something together in IRD because we want to study the several solutions we have today. And we have very good collaborations. I think we have a video here, but it is not playing, for us trying many devices. And in our lab, we produce scientific knowledge, but we do technology transfer as well. So we produce, we create and we develop methods and models and guidelines and protocols. So in my presentation, I will mention some of these artifacts and I invite you to use them, to download them, and feel free to reach me out if you need some more information. And sorry, I really, but I want to, before I start, I want to make you a special invitation, since we are in this immersive session about virtual reality and augmented reality, mixed reality. I want to invite you to submit to our workshop. We will have this second workshop. We extended the deadline for November 23, so this week. And we'll discuss in Osaka. It's a conference, it's an in-person conference, but we'll be able to manage to some of you present remotely if you couldn't travel to Japan. And now we're co-organizing with Professor Chai. Professor Chai is from NTU and a very good and dear collaborator, working also with VR and artificial intelligence. So please reach us. Yeah. It's down, yeah. It takes some time to. We, in our lab, we have some cases of on immersive technologies combined, converged with AI. And we are focusing on sustainable and a more human-centric Industry 5.0, because Industry 4.0 was about automation, was about technology, was about all this good innovation. And now we are facing to Industry 5.0 to focus on on a human-centered perspective. And we have these cases in our lab, and I selected 2 of these cases to discuss here with you today, how we're converging virtual reality and augmented reality with the AI. And why training in Industry 5.0? Because we have this focus on this human-centered process, right? So I brought some cases on safety instruction, safety training. And in our case, we're focusing on train the workers, we're training the learners are the professional and the workers with the industry. And we're training them for a better decision support. And I brought here 2 cases, 2 methods on the safety training that is especially concerned. And first I'll talk about the methods. I'll talk about GenAI, how AI and GenAI are transforming the immersive training. So we're using GenAI as a training content engine, and because in our lab, in our projects, we work with interdisciplinary teams, high interdisciplinary teams. So we have psychologists, we have ergonomists, we have psychiatrists, we have designers, and we have to say that still today, it's a little bit complex to create, to develop immersive experience, to use these game engines to create immersive experience. So GenAI help them to generate scenarios in environments. So they will collaborate with AI to create this with no code or low code ability. They don't need these skills. Of course, they need a little bit, but it will make easier for them to work with people of engineering and computer science, for example. So GenAI is helping us to make the creation of immersive content more accessible for person that are novice or have another background than computing science. And another way we're using adaptive AI is for the PhysioWare immersive environments, because we're using the sensor data. It's so easy to collect the data from the users, since the goggles, since the headsets have the sensors. And what are we doing with this data? We are using to biofeedback, or we're using this to make the immersive experience more adaptive for that situation. And I'll bring some examples of here. And we are also using agentic AI, because LLM is so good to make questions for the people for the users who are immersed. So when they're immersed, the agentic AI can ask them about their decisions, why they took their decisions, why they took their path, why they took why they're reacting like that. So we use this together with the biofeedback to have these adaptive immersive environments. And we're starting to use as guardrails, because when we work with safety training, we have to push the user to the boundaries, and sometimes it's not emotionally comfortable for them. So we are investigating how AI could let us understand when the person is a little bit overwhelmed by that safety training, because sometimes we put the person in a risk situation, and we'll see that. We'll talk a little bit more about this. So I'll focus on two methods of our labs. Both are for safer and human-centered projects. And the first one will be on the field of automakers. And we have several projects there. We study market research, we study ergonomics, but we are focused here on the UX assessment of user experience with two automakers that were Ford and GWM. That is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Chinese company, Great Wall Motors. And the second method will focus on the risk management, and I'll bring a situation when the user will be training and work on risk environments. So the first one is about how they used to conduct conventional user experience in in-vehicle for in-vehicle experience. So they used to conduct like that the first picture. The first picture show the ergonomist, and the ergonomist inside the car, an actual car, and they are observing the user, the potential driver, interacting with the car, the vehicle experience. And we move it to the immersive experience. So in the bottom, you see a person seated, because he's acting and like a person who uses wheelchair, and they are assessing the user experience of this person in autonomous bus. This autonomous bus doesn't exist, and they are observing in the immersive environment how the user will interacting with this in a context. And it is a risk situation, because you can put the users so easily in this situation, so it's a good opportunity to use VR for that. We are not using AI here yet, because it's a project that we developed about 3 years ago, and we have the paper when we explain this process and our outputs. And in this second case, we are developing with the Chinese company, because Chinese automakers are selling their cars in Brazil, and they are manufactured for the Chinese drivers, right? And sometimes we have, not sometimes, but a lot of times we have this difference between the anthropometric values of average Chinese driver and an average Brazilian driver. So we are using eye track and other kind of data, biosenses data, like facial tracking, body tracking. You can use the heart rate variability, and we combine it to understand how the person, how this potential driver, Brazilian driver, is interacting with the car, to compare with the Chinese average driver and make the vehicle safer for Brazilian drivers. So, and we publish this, our methods, and you can access it for using this QR code. And another part of this project is that we are using the virtual mannequins in the immersive environment. This is mixed reality, not virtual reality, to understand those differences. So the ergonomists, you use this kind of technology, we're training them to use this kind of visualization, and they're calculating the points to make decisions on the next projects that they will develop. This Chinese company is developing new cars on Brazil, so they will use this information. And for the second method, VR is really good to put the people in the immersive situation. So we are using it for this kind of training. For example, this is for confined people, workers, who will deal in confined space. That is a little bit risky, it's a little bit overwhelming. So what do? We put this potential user, this learner or this worker in the immersive environments, and then we will collect their data. So this is our experience. In the top of the picture on the top will show the actual platform that we'll use, but we immerse the person, and the learner will think that they are working in about 30 meters, working in heights. And the we're observing their behavior, how are they behaving. So we're collecting their sentiment analysis, for example. We're collecting all the behavior data and also the physiological data. And we are analyzing to see their decisions. And it is very interesting how it's compelling this environment. And I like to tell that I developed this immersive environment from the scratch. And even when I put the headsets and make this experience, it's really, really real for me that I'm working in the heights. So it's interesting. And so we're working here with decisions. We're working in the automotive field to have better design decisions, and in the environment of the work at the heights for operational decisions. So we have safer and more human-centered systems. So I invite you to work together so we could use the AI and VR and AR in bioscience to create this experience to make our Industry 5.0 more sustainable and more human-centric. So thanks so much, and reach out. This is the QR code for my LinkedIn. Let's connect. Thank you.
I think we'll give the audience some time to type their questions, or maybe since you're here in person, you could just raise your hand.
Sure.
And you could just ask questions directly.
Okay.
Any questions? Everything is very clear. Okay, so one thing we can do is that we can save the questions. This is a QR code for the question again. Okay, we can save the questions and we can ask all three of them at the same time, right? And then you can get a wider perspective for your question. So let me just double check again. Okay, so no questions so far. Oh, okay, yes.
A user, what are the parameters that you capture that is considered as strategic, that will tell you their emotional state and all that? So do you have a crystallized set of parameters that's critical that you must capture?
We are collecting the data right now, so we are trying to understand these profiles. It's really new for in this field. So right now we're working with those workers because the industry doesn't have this profile, right? If the person is working at heights, they will be hired in Brazil at least. They won't select a specific profile. So we're conducting experiments with several ranges of profile, and now we are extracting some of them to make some extend our research. So thank you for your question.
So it's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress in terms of profile, but not a work in progress in terms of the data we already have and already analyze it, and how we can make the experience more compelling and more, the people feel more present there. That is a very important aspect, a very important concept on the virtual reality. People feel present. So we have results on this, but we don't have results yet on the profiles, the psychological profiles of the users.
Just a follow-up. Do you intend to crystallize the minimum parameters that you need to collect that will give you quite a good picture of it? Do you have this intention?
Yes, a good idea, and then we work on that.
I look forward to your paper.
Thank you.